The first Big O show where we actually won, but it didn't feel like one. We'll jump into that. What is up, Finn fans? Yes, the very first me and Big O started doing this show week 2. Ever since then, the Dolphins haven't won. They finally come out. They beat the Houston Texans. You'll see what we talk about, but it didn't feel as nice of a win because of how poorly the offense played. But we're gonna jump into all that. Real quick, got to shout out my guys at patch5s.com. If you haven't checked them out yet, go over, check them out. Use the promo code DDW2. You get yourself 20% off. They got patches, they got hats, they got t-shirts. You see me wear their t-shirts all the time. They got cups, they got pins. Check them out. Use the promo code, get yourself 20% off. Also, Backroom Collections. If you want some really good, high-quality canvas artwork that involves either your favorite NFL team, your favorite MLB team, your favorite NHL team, your favorite whatever team, go over, check them out. Go to backroomcollections.net, use the promo code DDW, and you get yourself 10% off. I'm telling you, high quality, great stuff. Go use the promo code, get yourself a nice discount. Now let's jump into this conversation with Big O, and we talk about a lot. We talk about the win, the good, the bad. We talk about Gesicki, we talk about Javon Holland, we talk about a lot. And one thing I want to talk about real quick before we jump into it that Big O brought up is how our fan base kind of starts to seem divided. And he brings up a very good point, and I'm not going to ruin it so you can still watch it and hear what he has to say, but we need to realize that we're Dolphin fans. And regardless if you're for Tua, if you're against Tua, if you're for Brian Flores, if you want to fire Brian Flores, if you want to get Deshaun Watson, if you know, regardless of how you feel about those opinions, we are all in this for one thing only, and that's to hoist the Lombardi trophy. We all want this to win. It's not about a player, it's about this. So we need to realize that. We need to stop fighting over things and realize maybe we just have a difference of opinion. Just want to talk about that real quick because he talks about it. He brings up some very good points. So before I ruin anything else, let's jump into what me and Big O have to talk about. Another week, but this time we got a win under our belts. And me off air, me and Big O were laughing about it. I said we gotta jump in. We gotta start recording because we're happy, but we're not happy.
You know, it's like being valedictorian in summer school or something. I had perfect attendance in summer school. It's just one of those things. It's like the win this week was a participation trophy.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? It's just one of like the first week we did the post game show. Obviously, we do the pre and post every week, and the first week they beat the Patriots on the road, and I had people complaining about the win. I'm like, no, dude, I'm enjoying this. This is a good win. This is Foxborough on the road. This team, both these teams are kind of newish, changes and all that, but still, hey, they took it. I'm enjoying this. And I know it was close. I know you needed the strip from X and all that, but I loved it. And I wasn't going to sit there and complain. But this Sunday, I'm glad they won because losing would have been, the abyss never ends, right? Well, you lose to the Texans, you're at the bottom of the abyss. I mean, it's no lower than that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm glad that they won because really, I think I would have gone insane. I need a jacket. We would be doing this show from a rubber room. So there's no doubt about it. Doug's there in his beautiful studio, and I'm somewhere in a rubber room tied up. And, that's probably what would have happened. So I'm glad that didn't happen. But what Dolphin fan can really take pride in this? This is far from Jason Taylor and Zach Thomas, ladies and gentlemen. This is far from the dreadlock demon running downfield. This is way removed from Marino and Duper and Clayton. And let's go back to the Killer Bees and Don Shula and everything that's been established for this team, including the real logo, by the way, that I have behind me. Okay, all of that stuff that's been established. What happened on Sunday does not represent anything that I want the Dolphins to be.
No.
Okay, so I'm glad that they won, and that's where it ends. That's how ugly it was on Sunday.
5 turnovers. That's just on the Dolphin side. I think there was 9 altogether throughout the game. 5 turnovers.
Yeah.
I said it in my post game. If this was any other team, 49, like I'm even talking 2-3 win teams, Dolphins probably lose that game. 5 turnovers.
I heard we were going to be called the McDonald's Dolphins because, billions get served up to the quarterback. So, it's just, I mean, we compete. Don't we have the 3 worst linemen in the NFL? I mean, you got to admit, bro, it takes a certain skill and talent to have the 3 worst linemen in the NFL. I would imagine those 3 guys are arguing amongst themselves throughout the, hey, asshole, you got 34, I got 31. Let me catch up. There's like a race going on. Who can be the worst? I mean, it's bad.
It's bad. Real bad. And I'm one. This is another week of me owning up to being wrong. I wanted the Dolphins to go out and get Jacoby Brissett as a backup. I thought he could be a viable backup. He sucks. I'm sorry. Terrible. Hey, but hey, listen, it's sports. We're all going to get a bunch of it wrong. You know what I mean? Just thinks the Bengals are better than the Dolphins. I mean, come on, dude. Life is upside down, man. This is like weird. It's like the best hockey that's being played is not in Canada. It's in Florida. I mean, come on. What the hell do you Canadians know about hockey? Right?
Get out of here. The Lightning and the Panthers, baby. That's where it's at. That's where this world is.
Yep.
Understand that. Okay? I mean, that's how crazy this thing is, man. And that game was crazy.
Yeah.
Line was terrible. They couldn't run the ball 1.9 yards.
God.
They didn't score a point in the second half. You want to know crazy, ladies and gentlemen? I bet on the Dolphins. I gave the 5.5. When they named Brissett the starter and the line went down to 4.5, I doubled up. How about that? I was crazy enough. So that's how this world is. I said, I'm betting on this. I'm all in. The Dolphins have to win. And I said on the pregame show, I believe the defense is going to come through. And sure enough,
they did.
Exactly what happened
in
that game. The defense came through, and I was really happy about that. But, man, there was so much ugliness all throughout that game that it's hard to feel good about it. You know what I mean? It's like one of those I don't know. It's almost like you won a prize, but you almost felt like you cheated on it or something. With the prize, and you're like, yeah, thanks. And, you feel like I really don't deserve this, that kind of stuff. That's kind of what it felt like.
And you hit the nail on the head. It was the defense that won us that game because with the turnovers getting us close enough to score points. Like I think there was one drive that was like 80 yards. Other than that, you talked about it. Myles Gaskin, 20 carries, 34 yards. He averaged 1.7 yard a carry. Now, that's a little bit on Gaskin. My biggest knock on Gaskin is he dances too much in the backfield. I hate that. I want Derrick Henry, Ricky Williams. I want that back that's going to plant his foot and he's just going to hit it and go. That's not what our running backs do. Our running backs are.
No. Let me add a little something in defense of everyone behind those running backs. I mean, behind that offensive line. Okay. So you start from training camp. From the second you guys line up, the defense is thumping your offensive linemen. You constantly are running into defensive players. You're running into defensive players that by now you look like Evander Holyfield after 30 years in the ring that you're punch drunk. Okay? You practice against the Falcons and they're thumping your ass. You go through the preseason and they're thumping your ass. I think they're all shell-shocked at this point. I think no one, how can you have to be the stupidest human being in the world to have confidence in that offensive line and that offensive staff and that offensive line coach. You have to be the dumbest human being in the world. You have to be like that person that doesn't stand behind you when you go back and you fall right into the pool. If you've seen that whole trick that they're doing it with one person, oh yeah, you fell. Oh, let's try it with you. Moving out of the way, and boom, right in the water. You have to be the dumbest human being. And I think it gets to a point that if you're the quarterback, you're shell shocked.
Yeah.
Just like David Carr was when he was sacked 87 times. Ladies and gentlemen, it's not fun to get your ass kicked.
No.
Okay, because it can't be. You know why? Because it's not like I've felt it, but I watch it every week, so I feel like I'm getting my ass kicked for 25 years. So I doubt these running backs at this point can hit anything with confidence because they've probably done it and have run into walls over and over again. And they're kind of, because there was a play where Gaskin had a beautiful lane to the right side and he completely whiffed on it. And to me, that sounds like a punch drunk running back, because if you watch Gaskin his first year, he wasn't like that.
No.
Go watch him at Washington. Terrific run. Go look at the highlights. He pops right through the line because he had confidence that those holes were going to be there and he can then get to the second level and then make the next guy miss. But dude, you're not going to make 400-pound linemen miss because they're, I know they're 280, whatever, but they're there in the middle, or there's 330 tackles. You're going to run into them. And if you're Gaskin, you're going down. So for me, I think everybody behind that line is playing. Look at Tua after the rib injury. That mofo doesn't hold the ball for more than 0.9 seconds. He drops, bam, He's getting rid of it as soon as he goes, I'm not busting my ribs up again.
No.
He kind of learned his lesson there where he's kind of all right, trying to get, there are moments where he snaps and there's somebody on him and he can't do anything about that. But if he gets at least a 1 second that he can stay upright, he gets rid of it quickly because he learned his lesson. He has to. That's what Fitz did. Fitz moved a little, got rid of it quickly because he had 17 years of playing in chaos because he's been a backup his whole life.
Yeah.
So he's been in terrible situations his whole life. He was built for the mess we were in at the beginning because that's all he's ever been in as a backup. That's all he's ever. He always comes off the bench after the failed starter and then has to try to, keep some season alive for the Jets or the Bengals or wherever he's been all over the league. So he was suited perfectly for the chaos we were in. A rookie is not suited for this kind of chaos. And so 17 years of chaotic experience to a baby coming out of the womb of Alabama, it's just not going to count. And so for me, I think you have a lot of punch drunk in your running backs. And I think your quarterbacks also know, unless you're Jacoby Brissett, who, I'm sure syrup is all over his house because that's the only speed he knows. You know what I'm saying? But everybody else probably figures out like, oh man, we got to do something quickly here.
You ever see those videos of the sloths crossing the street?
Right. That's it. That's it.
That man is slow. Like his decision making.
Sloth.
Oh my
Jacoby
God.
Sloth. That's it. The sloth.
It's funny too.
Name them for the rest of the season.
We talk about the offensive line today. Brian Flores said that they're having conversations about changing up the offensive line.
Yeah.
After 10
I talked about that on my show today. And then but notice in the comments, he says, we'll have a couple walkthroughs. Yeah. So what? Hey, you see how he posed during that walkthrough? Oh, he's ready. He's ready. Yeah. Did you see Greg Little? He was slightly faster than his shadow. We got to start him. I mean, you saw that stance. That was fantastic.
What do we have to lose?
He had a great walkthrough today. I mean, I swear, I saw him take at least 100 steps and not crack a sweat. We got to start him. I mean, what are you going to see in a walkthrough? What will you decide in a walkthrough?
Right.
Cam Flo? Come on.
He also talks about that the guys need to do better as we as coaches need to do a better job of putting them in the position to have success.
Yeah, like how to put them in a position to have success.
Duh.
How about, you can't find a coach. How can you find a coach that knows how to put them in positions to be successful?
Get experience coaching And then all of a sudden, the talent we have will be stop taking, and he keeps doing it. He keeps doing it. Jalen Phillips was disruptive yesterday. Oh, let's drop him back into coverage.
Right.
Let's take him off the field on third down. Let's put in Brandon Scarlett.
Do the things he can't do. Let's go. That makes all the sense in the world. Come on down. Yes, we are the Miami Dolphins. I mean, that's just a beautiful thing. Let's just put people in positions to fail. You know what I'm saying? And he's a guy that should be just, it should be a piecemeal thing.
Yes.
Let him learn how to rush the passer. Let him learn all his moves. Then the following year, you teach him how to start dropping back occasionally. Then the following year, he becomes a guy that can do it more often. And then pretty soon, then you give him the green light and say, kid, it's up to you now. If you think you need to get after the quarterback, go for it. If you need to drop back because you see something and you sense it, pick up on it. You know, you get that JT green light that you can become that guy. You know, that's a high praise. But I'm just saying, you know, that's kind of the way you envision him, right? I mean, that's kind of what you want. So, but no, let's just throw everything at him at once and let's overload him because, of course, that's going to be the proper thing to do for any player out there. You know what I mean? Because we're such in a rush to get to the Super Bowl this year.
And it's funny, too, because I talk about stop dropping him back in coverage. That doesn't mean that eventually, like you said, eventually I don't want to, because Jason Taylor, that pick against the Bears that one year where they were
right, but build the confidence.
Jordan in the end zone, like.
Let him get cocky. Let him get a couple sacks. Let him get pressures. Let him become a terror at what he knows how to do. And then you gradually put him in those positions where he has to then cover a little bit more. I get it that you don't want to be one-dimensional. I totally understand what he's saying. You don't want to sell out. But give me a break, bro. Look at your team as it is, man. There's lots of stuff that's one-dimensional. So give me a break. Eric Rowe can't cover a receiver if his life depended on it. But somehow or another, he covers tight ends. You know what I mean? It's just one of those things. So, you know, I don't know, man. It's hard for me to explain anything going on with this team. You know?
I think the Texans were in the red zone, or they were on the 30 or something, and it was incomplete pass. But I saw Adam Butler at the 5-yard line dropping back into coverage.
Yeah.
What's Adam Butler? It's not even Jalen Phillips makes sense because he's lean, he's tall, he's fast. Makes sense. Adam Butler.
No, but he did tip a pass that led to a turnover. So I'll give him. We got to at least give him that he was useful for a moment there. You know, so he actually did something. But you know, former Patriot, and you know who loves his Patriots.
Yep.
So that's why he's here.
But we gotta give some praise to this team, though. Even though it's rare, but the players like Javon Holland yesterday, he had a game.
Yeah. That tells you how good he's going to be.
Oh my God.
That he is playing well in spite of the coaching, in spite of everything around him, just like Mike Gesicki, which, you know, I for the life of me, I cannot convince Omar Kelly
I don't know why.
I don't get it. You know, he has this thing about, well, he doesn't block. And then I turned it around on him this week and I said, okay, Omar, how many people in the universe, not just the NFL, can actually catch like Gesicki and block? And it's like, you know, a couple guys. That's it. There's like 2, 3, 4 guys if you want, you know, in the entire NFL. And he starts naming some names. And when he threw out Eric Ebron, I almost lost it. I almost went into a padded cell. And so it was one of those things that to me, dude, I have grown to not just love Mike Gesicki as a player, but respect him from everything, from trying to get people lined up because he's the only one that knows what the hell he's doing. Or whether he's making play after the dude almost gave us a one-handed hat trick, going back to hockey again. Okay. A one-handed hat trick. Who does that? Not even Odell Beckham does that.
No.
So, yeah, I mean, and it was like this far from a one-handed hat trick, dude. You know what I'm saying? People like that. Do you realize he's the best pass catcher we've had since Oronde Gadsden?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Listen to what I said. Pass catcher. I'm not telling you he's the best receiver ever.
No.
But in this time that, last 20 years or whatever, since Oronde Gadsden, this is the dude. Okay. Dude, re-sign him.
Please. I'm trying to start a Twitter trend on that. Come on.
What the hell are you doing, bro? And Omar's telling me, oh no, you just tag him. Why are you going to tag him? That's hard cap money.
Mm-hmm.
You tag him for 9 or 10. It's hard 9 or 10. If you sign him to a long-term deal, you can play with it a little bit.
Spread it out.
And the first year will be 2 or 3, whatever. So you can have extra money to go get linemen and stuff. Because obviously, if you can't draft or coach them, go get people that can overcome your stupid ass coaching. Because that's the requirement in order to add people to the Miami Dolphins.
All right, be smarter than the coaches.
Wide receiver, yes. Okay, can you make plays in spite of coaching? Well, of course I can. Well, you're hired. That's it. You know what I'm saying? We got to find people that can just go on the field and say, F the coaches, we got this. Let's go.
Instead of smarter than a 5th grader, it's smarter than the coaches.
Give me a break. X is allowed 6 touchdowns. So all that money, and he's not coming through.
No.
You know what I'm saying? But no, I like Javon Holland. I like what I'm seeing from the kid. And I admire Mike Gesicki, what he did.
Yeah.
But defensively, there was Agba. I want Agba back, man. If
2.5 sacks.
If you have another guy on the other side that can just scare some people, Agba would definitely have a couple of more sacks. But he has plenty of hurries and pressures. He has played so hard.
Yep.
On every game, dude. I watch him and I admire his professionalism every game. I'm a fan of Emmanuel Agba. I think he has handled this like a champ.
Yep.
Just like Mike Gesicki, who had every reason to just be bland and not say anything about the franchise. And he talked up the franchise like we've got 15 Lombardi trophies inside the lobby there. You know what I'm saying? So I'm a Gesicki guy because he wants to be us.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And in a way, look, I know Minka obviously maybe didn't get along with the coach, but he also he wanted out, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not a fan of people also that just want out. You want out, well then get the hell out, dude. Move on and get somebody else. And they want to be here. And they haven't, and in a crappy season with a rudderless ship, they have been pillars of stability in this organization, and they are not the problem. That's what I can tell you. I can tell you Mike Gesicki. I can tell you Javon Holland. I can tell you Emmanuel Agba. They're not the problem.
Nope.
There's a lot of problems. Those guys aren't the problem.
Now we're going to get into the big conversation here. Because there's like a tinfoil hat conspiracy going around about Tua Tagovailoa. Some people think he was benched.
No, man.
So, they say that all of a sudden this fracture in his finger came out of nowhere, which it didn't. It was on the injury report. And they're saying that he could have played.
You heard this QAnon crap is just polluting our entire society. Everybody's Oliver Stone. Go ahead.
They're saying that his finger wasn't wrapped. And why was he active if he's not going to be on the field? And then the field reporter said that it was swollen enough where he couldn't grip the ball. He couldn't throw it. And you saw it when he was on the sideline, his middle finger of his left hand was raised a little bit when he was holding stuff. What is your thoughts on that? Because I know it's a good laugh.
It's injured. It's injured. And he doesn't have a rocket of an arm. So if he had a rocket of an arm, then maybe they would let him play a little bit more because he can overcompensate.
Yeah.
But because he's not a big dude and he doesn't have a gun for an arm, he can't overcompensate. So he needs to be completely healthy in order for him to do his job. The Dolphins need him to play because they want to get rid of him. So you got to play him so you can build up value, dudes. Yep. So they're not going to bench him.
No.
And they're not going to bench him to play Brisket. Come on. Jabroni Brisket, give me a break. They don't want to play that. They know they made a mistake there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm sure Flores is like, I didn't pick him. All right. I mean, it's like, come on, dude.
That one was Greer. That was Greer.
Yeah. Greer gives you fits and you give him Brits. I mean, give me a break, dude. So they want to on the field because they actually want to win a game. And they know that Tua's still better than this guy, even though they don't care about Tua and they want to get rid of him as fast as possible.
Mm-hmm.
But keeping him on the bench and injured doesn't help trade value.
No.
So they need him out there, especially against a bad team, like he racked up yards against a couple of bad teams prior to the good team.
Mm-hmm.
And so have common sense, folks. Leave the QAnon Oliver Stone. There's always a conspiracy theory about everything out there.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, there's rarely a conspiracy theory. That's what it is. All right. So just let it go. The kid's injured and he's not gifted in that way.
Yeah.
If he was 6'5" with a rocket arm, they probably would have let him play through it a little bit, give him a chance at least.
Yeah.
Right. And so here's the other thing. Let me give you part 3 of all of this. And there's a consistency pattern to all of this. Okay. Which, well, actually, no, the Dolphins have been consistently sucking. So that's also another consistent. All right. So here it is. So their third quarterback must be so bad that they'd rather go with Tua and risk Tua and even risk more injury with Tua because he probably would be limited to, instead of 8-yard passes, he'll be down to 5 now. Okay, because obviously this is a man-in-the-box offense as it is because you don't have more than a second to throw.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, how effing bad is Greg Little, if he can't crack that line? So think about it. Those 5 linemen, 4 of them suck. The center's like half decent, actually.
Yeah, he's all right.
You know what I'm saying? Serviceable. But the other 4 suck and can easily be argued that you can replace any of them. There's Greg Little. What's he doing? PlayStation? What's he doing? Is we still around? What's he in the metaverse? I must have missed it. How bad is Greg Little that you can't crack the worst lineup in the NFL? We have the 3 worst linemen.
Mm-hmm.
Greg Little can't replace the 3 worst linemen. That's how bad Greg Little is.
Yep.
So if Greg Little sucks that much, we might see him this week because they might say, you know what, bro, let's just play him because maybe he sucks at practice and maybe he plays half decent in the game. Let's go. What the hell? It can't hurt. So the third quarterback must be so bad that they'd rather have Tua still be the guy playing as the number 2. So there's a level of consistency there that if they're, I mean, yeah, you suck, but boy, the people we have behind you suck even more. So, we can play you. So, yeah.
If you look at Tua starting and the amount of points we score with Tua as a quarterback versus Brissett, yards per game, Tua's 220 to Brissett's 170. Average yards passing, Tua's 6.6 to Brissett's 5.6. It's like they're only off about 60 yards, and Brissett played more games. So It's like one is better. And I actually have people telling me that Jacoby Brissett's better than Tua, and it's just like, God, I just can't with that. Did you see a Landon Roberts? Now there's this thing too.
Yeah, the whole thing, yeah.
Where he tried to read his lips, but saying, it's not you, it's the coaches. Some people think that the team isn't even back into it. This is stuff I get, just so you know. This is stuff I get in the comment section. This is stuff I get.
And listen, I know everybody's trying to decipher what was said between those two, but I actually think that there's a little more of a kid, hang in there, you'll be all right. Next year you'll go somewhere else and you'll get away from these clowns and you'll be fine. You know what I mean? Because I know this is what I hate the most about this season. This is what I hate the most about this season. It has us pitted against each other.
Yep.
Trying to figure out what's wrong, whether one guy can play or not, whether the coaching staff is good or not, whether it's the front office or the coaching staff. I hate that because it's not our fault. We didn't make any of these decisions. They're the professionals that are paid for this. They're the screw ups, all right, that have ruined this season and ruined it for all of us. And then we have to deal with the pieces because everybody moves on.
Mhm.
All these coaches and everybody else gets fired and they all move on. They go to other, and then we're all left here with the shrapnel
Mhm.
and the injuries and the damage and all that, and it's year after year after year. And I hate that we sit here and whether I think Tua can play or you don't think he can play or you don't think he's a strong enough arm or I think his arm is fine enough, it's just his coaching or whatever it is. To me, that's the foundation. The foundational problem of this team right now is the coaching
Yeah.
because no one, no side of the ball plays well. If something was excelling, then fine. But you can only find a couple of individual players that can, and we've kind of talked about them pretty much.
Yeah.
And there are not a lot of them. And that tells you how bad it is. Because it's not just the young guys, it's it's Baker,
Byron.
Byron. There's just, it's veterans too that aren't doing their job.
Mhm.
And so it's just one of those things that the failure is catastrophic. It's all over the place. And I hate the fact that we're pitted trying to decipher what the hell is going on when you and I don't get paid to do this. So it's completely unfair. We end up suffering because we buy the tickets and we take our time, we invest our emotions, and it's just frustrating, man.
Yeah, and I couldn't have said it any better. The fan base is just fighting, and we all want the same thing. We just want to win. We want a competent team. We want a team that consistently puts great stuff on the field, and all we're getting is inconsistency and bad coaching. So, everyone listening
We're
out
watching
there,
in town with Pat Riley. Those of you that don't live in Miami obviously don't care, but we had Shula and then we had Pat Riley. And, that's kind of, we don't have that czar.
nope.
And the czar is always the best way to go when you have the one voice or the one family like a Rooney's,
Mhm.
something like that. You know what I'm saying? And then it has a trickle down effect that, is what's it called? Undeniable. Let's
Yeah.
put it that way. And we just don't have that. And it's frustrating, man.
Last thing we're going to talk about before we get out of here.
Mhm.
Thursday night, Miami Dolphins taking on the Baltimore Ravens. Do you think it's going to be worse than the Bills game? The Bills game wasn't even that bad.
I think it's rated R. I think you've got to hide the women and children. I think that's what the what's that called? The disclaimer will be at the beginning of the game. So be careful. Yeah, I think it's going to be a slaughter because they always punch Miami in the mouth.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, this is not a great defense.
No.
But their offense is so putrid that it cannot take advantage of even their weaknesses. And even the weak defense is so superior to what you just faced in Houston.
Mhm.
And Houston shuts you down at home for an entire second half.
Yep.
So I just fear this game with every inch of my body. And I am not looking forward to that post-game show from Sports Grill because I'm going to really want to have a lot of drinks and then call an Uber to get home after I got to, watch the chat board explode
Oh my
with,
God.
the hate and all that stuff. And it's like, yo, man, I'm not running the team. Okay? So,
yeah, we get that a lot. We get it.
slow down.
We
bro.
get a lot of, which, that kind of what we're here for, but we don't make these decisions.
We're not trying to mess with you guys.
Exactly.
You actually want to win. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to. I'm kind of tired of losing. It's
winning also brings us more viewers, more subscribers.
Yeah, because losing gets old, man.
I don't want to hear it.
As the season drags on, it gets old and gets old, and then we start with the draft.
Yeah.
But then after what's gone on, there's no hope for the draft either. It's like
We might not even have any.
I want to go to Vegas and have some fun with the draft. Come on, man. Let's go.
We might not even have a first round pick this year. We might trade it away to Houston.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Which then at that point, it's like, should I live stream the first day if we're not even picking? Like, what's the point of that at this point?
You know, you and I should open up a massage parlor right next to the stadium.
Sean, I'm not going to go there.
I'm into crypto, right? Because crypto is the future. No matter any of you want to deny it, that's fine. It'll be a part of your lives, like the internet and everything else that people were denying. I'm just looking into the future, bro. I'm just trying to think of future businesses for us, Dougie. I want us to make a little extra money. I'm just thinking if they acquire a specific player, kind of behooves you to open up a massage parlor right by the stadium. I'm just saying. And it's legal. This way, you know, you can walk in, it's all legal, and nobody, you know. Well, there you go. That's it. So it's just a business idea. I'm a businessman. I'm just thinking about these kind of things. You know? Right?
Do you think one
heart
last
medication maybe outside the stadium? We should be selling some of that, right? I mean, Dolphins fans need it all the time. These are things that just go through my mind. I'm sorry.
One last thing. Do you think that it's a possibility that the Dolphins get another quarterback besides Deshaun Watson? Or do you think it's Deshaun or no one?
No. I think there's even a chance they'd go after the anti-vaxxer.
His thing on
although he's going to he's going to want to go to San Fran.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if the young kid flops and then obviously the other guy is unreliable because his body never holds up. What a shame, because Garoppolo can win a Super Bowl.
Yeah,
you can win a Super Bowl with Jimmy Garoppolo, but the dude can't ever stay healthy.
No.
So that's the problem there. So, you know, and he wants to be there. So I don't know, listen, if they're willing to trade for a guy that could be a sexual violator, I think they'll trade for a guy that, you know, hates vaccines. So, you know, I don't know what to tell you. But I think that, I think Aaron Rodgers would be an option for them. You know, I don't know if Aaron would be crazy enough to come here. By the way, I do want to thank Aaron Rodgers. He did give me $100 of Bitcoin.
Did he really?
Yeah, sure. There you go.
That's awesome.
And it's 105 now.
That's awesome.
I got it last week because he was giving away with Cash App $1 million in Bitcoin.
Wow.
And then you had to retweet to him a hashtag and then follow Cash App on Twitter and all that. So I did it, and little did I know. There we go. I ended up getting $99 of Bitcoin, so I got $100 there.
There you go.
It's a beautiful thing. 99.95 or whatever it was, something like that.
At least he's a man of his word. That's
yeah, it was good. No, because it was kind of random. You would get like $10 or $20 also. It all depends. So I got the high end of it. You know what I mean? Maybe they went to my Twitter page. Yeah. They have to go and see if I'm following, and they saw all the crypto talk that's on there. So they're probably like, oh, okay, maybe, you know, we're not giving it to a person that's going to sell it right away, which of course you don't sell your Bitcoin. You hodl Bitcoin, ladies and gentlemen, do not buy anything with Bitcoin. Hodl, it's savings. Okay. Use the other stuff to turn over and invest. Bitcoin, let it grow. Just my crypto tip of the day.
Telling you, if you guys want those crypto tips, you better go over and you better follow Big O. Where can they find you, Big O?
Big O Radio Show on YouTube. Please subscribe there. Hit that notification bell. And of course, Big O Radio Show on all audio platforms: iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeart, Amazon, you name it, wherever it's at, you'll find it. Radio.net. Doesn't matter where you find your podcast, that's where we'll be. And we appreciate all of you out there if you can support us.
All right, last thing.
Yes.
Percentage chance Dolphins pull off an upset on Thursday.
1%.
All right. Well, there you go. You heard it first from Big O.
1%. We don't have the coaching staff, man.
No.
If we had a coaching staff, that's fine. Listen, man, I grew up with Shula, and I watched them coach Greasy and the boys, and then I watched them coach, Woodstock. I watched them coach the Scab teams where we got Lifford Hobley from. I watched them coach the Marino teams. I watched them win his 325 with Doug Peterson. I know what real coaching is like. That's why Bub Phillips said he can beat his'n with your'n and your'n with his'n. You know what I mean? Because it didn't matter who Shula was coaching. You were going to be better because Shula was coaching you.
Exactly.
Doesn't matter who Pat Riley is coaching. You're going to be better. And then Pat Riley developed his own disciples, which Jeff Van Gundy and Stan Van Gundy have been solid coaches. And Spo is now becoming one of the better all-time coaches and one of the best, if not the best coach in the NBA, the second best coach. So there was he was able to produce an offspring, which is kind of freakish for any organization to have, something like that. So I just don't see that with our team. I don't see difference making coaching, and coaching makes a difference.
Yeah.
And let me tell you something. I don't believe all these players are this bad.
No.
I don't believe all these offensive linemen are this bad. I believe what's the real coincidence is that the entire coaching staff is incredibly weak, and it's the weakest coaching staff in the history of the Miami Dolphins. And this is the screwed up part about all of this, and you guys are going to get pissed at me. Some of you, you're going to get frustrated. We cannot judge players or the front office until they have a real coaching staff.
Yeah.
And you know what's going to end up happening? The front office will probably get fired because they hired the coaching staff anyway, right? And then the new people will come in, they'll clean house, they'll keep some, and then we'll keep track of all the players where they go everywhere else.
Yep.
And then we're going to see them go in other environments, and we're going to see which ones thrive and don't. And then hindsight later on, a couple of years from now, we're going to go, it's kind of like the Dennis Hickey drafts.
Yes.
Hickey got trashed. But if you go back and actually look at the two drafts, they weren't bad drafts. And some of those guys got cut, went and played in other places and became decent players.
Look at what he's doing with the Saints.
Right. Exactly. Well, no, you're talking about Ireland.
Hickey, there you go.
With the Bills.
Yes.
Hickey is their national scout. So what I'm saying is go look at the two drafts from Dennis Hickey. They're actually not bad drafts. But the problem is you get cluttered in all the PR and all the politics and everything back there, and everybody gets washed away. And I really believe we can't judge Chris Grier until we really see coaching.
Yeah.
But Chris Grier may have made a mistake by hiring this coach, because now he gave him a lot of power, a lot of influence, which he made a lot of the decisions. And so now this has kind of cluttered the whole thing. I think he should have taken a more hardline approach and made more of the decisions on his own, because you really only get one of these chances, and he should have taken advantage. But watch us, because this is what we do all our lives as Dolphin fans. We watch Wes Welker go, and we watch Minka go, and we watch Laramie Tunsil go, and we start, because these are players that were here and were drafted by these guys and all that, and now they're playing in other places. And this has been the story of our lives for many years now. And now we're going to give the league a few more players and watch them excel in other places. And then we're going to say, oh, crap, we screwed it up again.
Yep.
So,
well, Big O, hopefully we don't get beat too bad on Thursday. Hopefully it's somewhat entertaining for more than a quarter.
I'll be praying, my brother. I'll be praying.
I hope you have a nice, you get this weekend to just relax and watch football now. You don't really have to, So I hope you have a good weekend, but I will see you again Monday for us, Tuesday for everyone else. But again, let's go. Let's get a W somehow.
God, that would be awesome. That would be probably the best thing that could happen so far this football season, if they can get that victory. That
shock the world.
Yeah, that would be an absolute shocker. It would take 2019 second half coaching by Cam Flo to get it done. Okay. By the way, I call him Cam Flo because it's the worst coach I've seen since Cam Cameron. So in honor of Cam and Flo, he's Cam Flo.
I'll see you next week, bud.
Be good, y'all. Hang in there. Finn's loyalty.
Maybe, just maybe, we can pull off this surprise victory on Thursday, but I doubt it. But again, Comment below. Let me know what you guys think about what we have to say. Later today, you guys are going to get the film breakdown. Again, I'm putting 2 videos out today because it's a short week. So later today, you're going to get the film breakdown, give you a little sneak peek on that. Defense played pretty well. They gave up a few points. I've tried my best to point out the good and the bad on both sides. Offense was more bad than good. But you can look out for that later today, probably around like 6 o'clock. I will release the film breakdown. And then tomorrow is the picks video brought to you by my bookie. So that's going to be fun. And then tomorrow night, I'm going to be live for the Dolphins Ravens game. Did I say Falcons before? Dolphins Ravens game. Maybe they can pull this surprise off. I doubt it, but going into it, that mindset, you're not upset. But other than that, guys, I'll see you tomorrow. But like usual, actually, I'll see you later today. But like usual, stay classy. Offense out.